hijos de Pancho Villa, las manos arriba, te traen el mejor chisme, todos a bailar, es el mejor podcast, amigo, y viva los chismes, no paran de hablar, sí, a mover los pies.
Hi guys, how are you? We are in another chapter of Hijos de su Pancho Villa in collaboration of Master Talks with Erika Ballesteros. And today, as you have been seeing the last chapters, we have this special about producing movies and all this the magic that happens behind the scene. And by now, I'm so excited because I'm beside one of a person that has a great career doing movies, doing productions, videos, music videos, and a lot of more of stuff like that. I'm here with Josh Reis. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
For having me.
Welcome to this space. Thank you for your time and thank you for all the things that you're going to share today with the people that it's watching you.
Well, thank you. I've been filming a movie here in Durango, and it's an amazing city, and I've just been really impressed with the crews and just the local vibe and culture. It's amazing.
It's new for you, is it?
Yes, I filmed in Mexico, Tijuana, Mexico City. I've been to Colombia, Medellin, Bogota, but in Puerto Vallarta, but first time to Durango, and it's a very cinematic city, so very excited.
Oh, I'm glad you're excited being here. It's not a that big city, but it has its own magic. But let me talk about you to the audience.
Sure.
You are, as I said at the start, that you have a long career in production making. You have been working with a lot of different projects and in a worldwide level, isn't it?
Yes, so I'm a cinematographer, also known as a director of photography. So I've shot over 100 music videos for a lot of the biggest names in the industry, from Justin Bieber, Nicki Minaj, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Drake, you name it. I've probably worked with them. I think I even did a Wisin, Plan B, Yankee Daddy, so a lot of Latin American artists as well. Probably shot as many commercials for big brands around the world. Shot somewhere around 13 movies to this date. Worked in the UK, Sweden, Italy, Turkey, Bulgaria, Mexico, Japan, Canada, again, Colombia. I've been all around the world. Oh, Ukraine. I mean, the list goes on. And that's some of the perks of the jobs.
That's super cool because, as you say it, like you have been working like a photography director in all of these projects, and people that I knew, like they are near from you, they talk really, really nice about your professional skills and but about also your personality. They love you, the people that surround you. So
Well,
that's
great.
nice to hear about it. It's
to
not a
hear.
lie.
Yeah.
People talk really nice things about you.
Well, director of photography, again, you have to be a leader. You are in charge of lighting, lenses, a lot of the technical things. And then you also work directly with the talent, the cast, the director. So it's a balance between budget, schedule, and art, cinematic art. So I love it.
So Yash, tell me about your life. How did you start your career? Did you already knew what you want to do when you start to study? How old were you when you start?
Great question. Well, it's a long story, so I'll try to keep it short. But I have a background in motion graphics, design, and photography. And I knew I wanted to be creative. I got into USC, University of Southern California, as a fine art major. And I was a minor in cinema. But I worked on student films, and I was doing my own projects, again, motion graphics, title sequences, photography. I was doing 4x5 prints and working the dark lab and doing black and white prints and developing my own film, and it was really exciting. But it wasn't until after I graduated that I started camera assisting more, and I really fell in love with cinematography. So I started shooting for friends, and then I bought a Arri SR3 Super 16 camera. So I started to build my reel doing that, shooting with film, loading film. And after work, I'd run with my friends, and we would try to steal, well, I wouldn't say steal, but we bought short ends and try to find film and just shoot little projects. And then we'd sneak into the middle of the night in Los Angeles into telecine bays, because in the day when you shot film, you had to get it transferred. So, and it was really expensive. So we always tried to find ways without paying to get in there. So that was kind of my rebellious stories of youth, but eventually I built a good reel, and I was shooting a lot of green screen projects for commercials. I got a call from an agency at the time, UTA, and they said, "Hey, we hear you're doing good things," and they signed me, and the rest is history. From there, I started getting more into features, and as I said, I've shot over 100 videos, so I came up primarily through commercials and music videos, and it's been really fun. It's been a lot of work, though. It takes a lot of sacrifice. You have to deal with a lot of difficult people and some wonderful people. There's all walks of life. But again, I love it. I don't know what else I would do.
So before you studied and everything, did you work in another place like Midtime Works, like when you were studying, something else different about this, what you do right now?
Well, I worked in the computer labs. So I was doing graphics, in the student labs when I was out in college. But, I grew up in the mountains in a small town near Lake Tahoe. Yeah. So it was kind of more of like a ranch. So I grew up around tractors, equipment, and I had a classic car. So I was always tinkering and doing mechanical things on the side. But I've never, again, just always save my money and just focus on the dream, to get into filmmaking and be creative.
Yeah.
Again, I background in motion graphics, graphic design, After Effects, title sequences. So I have a very diversified background, but it's all come full circle because we started with film, which is the filmic process, developing, processing, learning frequencies and flickers and hues and color temperatures, and you're using your light meter, and then now everything's digital. So it's very different. You used to have, I think, 4.5 minute running time on a 400-foot mag, and now with a digital camera you could shoot for hours. So you're now used to work at 400 or 800 ISO. Now you're shooting, like in the movie here, we were doing 1600 to 2000. So the technology has enabled us to work faster, but at the same time it's kind of sad because it's kind of taken the humanity out of the process. Mm-hmm. Again, filmmaking is very collaborative, and with film, as a cinematographer, you were the only one that would see that image, that you would know what this film was going to look like. And it wasn't until you get into the telecine that you saw the picture, and it was a magical process. But now it's, there's 20 monitors on set, and everybody can see, hey, fix this, do that, this is too bright. So it's a different process. It's more of a collaborative. But then again, you're able to do more with less time, which is great. But at the same time, it's enabled people to do more with a smaller budget, less lighting. But again, it's constantly evolving. So who's to say what the future is going to be? I think the key is just always to adapt and learn the technologies. And at the end of the day, we're all there to tell a story, and that, to capture the humanity. And as a cinematographer, that's always my objective, is to get in the head of the characters and the actors and understand the director's vision and try to materialize that on the cinema screen.
I watch you, you're like so structured person. That's what my perception. But you're a photography director, so I think that you should work also with this perception of emotions in the scene. Do you have feelings?
Yes. Well, again, every project's different.
Yeah.
Some movies, single camera, and it's more of an intimate experience. Yeah. And then you get on other shows where, like this one, we have 3, sometimes 4 cameras on set. So it's very more algorithmic. It's more formulaic based. So you have, again, you have these coverage and 180 line, and you're trying in your head to figure out the geometry of the coverage and the scenes and the blocking. And it becomes more mechanical. Okay. Whereas, again, if you have one camera and it's a smaller budget, the process can be more organic. But that's what I love. Everything is different. I've shot movies that have small budgets all the way up to like 40 million. Yeah. So it's very different. And then you have cast scheduling, locations. There's just, again, it's no job is the same.
And in your life, your job life, did you had in one occasion a statement or a moment of your life that you felt like, okay, this is a really big challenge. I'm not feeling that well. Maybe these things on my life is changing so fast, or what had you have feeling like depressed, like maybe because your personal life in this balance about your work and personal life. I don't know. The thing that I want to know is that if you have been like in a dark place in your life, like down, and how did you go forward?
I'm sure every artist can relate or has that experience, because that's essentially the process of becoming an artist. Is you're sacrificing, whether it's money, life balance, social, to achieve artistic excellence or whatever that vision is. I think there's always a journey there. To answer your question, I would say, again, the challenges of being a cinematographer, it depends how you look at it. I travel a lot. So sometimes you're away from friends and family for, like in this case, this movie for 2 months. Sometimes it's 4 months. Sometimes I think my longest movie was 6 months. And if you get two movies back to back, you can be gone all year. So you're kind of a nomad traveler, which is, again, a blessing because you experience all these cultures and you meet, you make new friends, your crew becomes extended family. But it's also sad because at the end of the day, you have to leave and go on to the next one. You have to say goodbye to everybody. But again, that's just kind of part of the journey. And I'm sure a lot of artists, whether musicians or painters or anybody who travels, can relate to that. And that's definitely what I would say one of the biggest challenges.
And how old are you?
Oh, that's the big question. You can take a guess.
Okay, no, I don't want to guess because I don't want to be wrong. You look like young, but this sounds like it sounds like a really big career. It sounds like you have been like many years in it. So that's why I'm thinking, oh, he's speaking like so with so much experience. So I don't want to take the risk. Maybe I don't know.
No, to answer your question, I think the beauty of cinematography, again, with any art, you can meet people that have been in the industry forever, and you can meet young people that have incredible resumes. So you never know. There's no, you just have to keep every day, just keep moving forward and find what inspires you. So that's why I feel like age is almost irrelevant, because you could do one movie and it could be a success and it could take off. I know people that have shot a lot of movies and it's a tough industry, and it's only becoming more challenging because of AI and the strikes in the United States and the whole restructuring with streaming. There's new challenges, and it's going to be difficult as technology can kind of take a creative role with AI. I don't think it's the same, but when it comes to technology, look. Phones and what they can do now, it's amazing. With their 3D LiDAR scanners. You can make your movie, any kid now can make a movie on the iPhone, edit it on the iPhone. And that could be the next match. And you can go to a festival, it can make more money than a Spielberg movie or Nolan, they spend millions. So that's the beauty of it. But that's why you have to keep yourself on the toes as an artist. Keep rediscovering yourself. And again, so go back to your answer in age, so none of that has to do with age. Always being young at heart and finding, again, what inspires you. Just find, whether you're a cinematographer, production designer, director, we all have something that you bring to the table that's unique, and hopefully that's why people hire you, because they know you do, that's kind of your thing, or that's your label, or you're going to challenge them. And I like to be challenged by directors, and you think out of the box, and that's when you do new things.
Yeah, that's sweet. And do you have family? Do you have kids?
Well, to go back to the question, no family, kids yet. Hopefully someday.
Okay.
But again, that's the challenge. It's you're kind of like in love with your work. You're passionate about what you do, and it's a challenge. Again, when you're gone for months and end from your home.
Yeah, that's why I do this question, because this kind of life is not that easy to have, like relationships and friends. Well, not that friends, but maybe family. It's a hard. You need to make to be really structured. We have to be with people that knows your dynamics, and to be okay with that, and also you to be okay with the other person. So it's not that easy. So this question is because of that, because of your profession, that it's not that easy to have that balance. But it's not a bad thing. It's because, hey, you are focused on your career. You're doing really, really special things. You're making a lot of friends, you're having a lot of experience. So it's not bad or good. It's just a lifestyle that.
Exactly. And again, I know some cinematographers, all they do is commercials, and yeah, they live in their home every night, and they have a family, and they don't get into narrative for that reason. There's some people on TV shows, and they're gone for 8 months. So, yeah, you have to find what works for you as an individual, and hopefully, again, you. What's important is you have to love your work and be passionate about it, because it's very special. Every day I go to work and I think, wow, I can't believe I get paid to do this.
Yeah.
To me, it's how does the saying go? If you, I truly feel like I don't work a day in my life, and if I don't, so if you're having fun, you don't work a day in your life, because you're
because you
doing what
enjoy
love.
it. You enjoy it, and it's like, hey, I'm doing the thing that I will pay for. Keep doing it if I need it because you love it. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, and I think for young artists out there, always have an open mind, because you may want to do something now, but because the industry may change, or originally when I started, I wasn't interested in movies or long form. I was just in videos and commercials, and that was great because they're great platforms to experiment, try to new technologies, new cameras, new film stocks, new lights, and you can always experiment. But now I feel that I love features, so it changed for me, which is great, and it's going to change for everybody. So just always have that open mind. If you're in post and graphics, I use those skills all the time, doing pitch decks and lookbooks and communicating with visual effects. And this is the vision, this is the green screen, this is the plate. So every skill set in your journey, it empowers you as an artist.
Yeah, for sure. It makes you a more complete, 360 way to see the life and the options and everything, as you said, about the AI. What's your opinion concretely?
Well, it's complex, but I think it's coming. It's, and I think in a good way. Like the pros are, if Netflix were to come here in Mexico and make a movie, they could do it in Spanish, and then through AI, ADR, it'll all electronically, the computer will translate it to English or to Korean, and vice versa. So a film made in Korea can now be dubbed accurately using the actor's voice, not reshooting or remap the mouse in 3D technology. It'll make it, in English or German. So that's beautiful because it's now more of a universal language, where I believe in the past, everything is more favored toward English, right? But now you could take a film from Russia or from Japan and it could be dubbed in any language. But at the same time, it's kind of sad though, because I think a lot of people are going to lose their jobs.
Sure.
Green screen, visual effects tracking, that's all going to be automated now. Keying, pretty soon cameras will have LiDAR scanners and will have a Z-depth channel, so you won't need to even shoot green screen, which is great. But then now somebody lost a job because there's no keyers, there's no rotoscoping. And it's already happened. If you look at film processes, a lot of people were involved with doing the EDL, cutting the negative, processing the negative, making the film. Now all those jobs are gone. Kodak is relatively obsolete. But then it creates new jobs in technology. But I believe technology ultimately concentrates the jobs. So you can now, what was done with 100 people can now be done with 10. And yeah, those 10 people probably make more money, but then there's other 90 people who are out of a job. So it's again, a double-edged sword, and it's constantly evolving. Look at what Pixar does, all that animation. I think that's going to be the first thing to be replaced greatly by AI. And I already know it is. The software, they're becoming more smart and intelligent, cloud-based computing. And yeah, it's again, hopefully audiences will always be drawn back to the humanity, the narrative, because it's a human experience, and that's why we go to cinema. But again, the computer's based on their data feeding and copying, and they could copy an artist, and replicate that style within half a second. A computer could read a whole script and give you a summary in 5 seconds. Mm-hmm. So that would take you or me, like a day at most. Now it can be done in 5 seconds. And I know it's changing advertising very fast. Advertising is rapidly evolving. A lot of car commercials now aren't even shot live; they're all CG. Mm-hmm. And you can't even tell the difference. Speaking of AI, I know social media is really big. There's a lot of social influencers. They're all AI. So my concern is now too is, as a kid, you're exposed to this, and you're watching it, and you're like, oh, I want to be like that influencer. They have those shoes, those have those sneakers, that sweater, that jacket. I want that. I want that AirPod, and then they find out that person isn't real.
Yeah.
So it's an unattainable reality. That person's in the gym, and oh, they look beautiful and all that, but it's not real. So is that healthy? I think there's a lot of moral and ethnic questions, that need to be answered. And then again, social influencers are now going to be out of job too, because now it's an AI, artificially generated human that's owned by a corporation. So,
Yes.
and I can see corporations want to do that, but I think it's ironic because we're kind of going full circle. We're going back to why Walt Disney created Mickey Mouse. There's no royalties. He has to pay an actor. There's no retainer fee. They own that entity, and now it's a human entity or human-like entity instead of a mouse character. So it's going to be interesting. There's a lot of challenges. I know a lot of older A-list actors are licensing their voices to AI, so they can collect a check. They don't have to do anything, but the computer is using their voice. Is that right? I don't know. And then now the ADR artists, the recording studio, they're out of job.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of challenges. I don't have the answers, but I think it's a beautiful thing, and at the same time, it's extremely, I have concerns about it.
Yeah, I'm sure. And that's a great opinion. Okay, I'm going to change a little bit the topic.
Okay.
If you let me.
Sure.
How is a normal day? Well, maybe normal, it's like in production day or in-house, at home, I don't know. For Joshua, normal
Well,
day.
it depends. You have prep, which is all filmmaking from a business standpoint is all in pre-production. It's all the planning, shot listing, coverage. From my point of view, you have your camera departments that have the cameras, the lenses, the filters, all that's prepped, the technical data pipeline, workflow. Is it ACES? Is it EXR? What's the color space? All that's determined. Where is the data going? Checksum verification, which is cloning. Throwing out a lot of technical words so people can Google and research. But then you're on set. You're scouting the director. Which way we're looking? Do we need to tint these windows? If it's rainy, what's our cover set? So there's a lot of things in play, and it's really about leadership and planning and directing those resources so everybody can do their job. Does the gaffer have all the distro, the generators, where they're running the electrical? Is the generator far enough away from sound so it's not going to create issues? And then we have a shooting schedule. Then you look at the schedule and you want to try to be there at the time of light, so it's backlit or sunset or magic hour or so forth. So there's a lot of things, but that's what I love. The more you shoot, the better you get. At first, it can be overwhelming, but then it's exciting. You're in a scene, you're in this interior, you're like, okay, am I going to be daylight balanced, 5,600 Kelvin? I'm going to be tungsten. There's windows, so I'm going to match the daylight. I'm going to tint them. I'm going to gel them with CTB or CTO. We're going to do haze, volume. What's the special effects? What special equipment? Do I need cranes? Do I need jibs? Do I need, a gimbal? We go in studio mode. Do we have dollies, sliders? So it's all these things, and it goes off to the key grip, and then, again, the lighting goes to the gaffer, and then you have your camera department. So all these departments, come together, and then you have your meeting, script, dialogue, and then on the day, everything's there, and you walk in, you have your pre-rig because you have your lighting diagrams, and then you start blocking, you rehearse it, and then sometimes the talent's like, no, I'm going to do this, and then okay, so then you got to change the light, or they go away to the makeup, and then we come back for first looks or last looks, which means we check hair and makeup, everybody under the light, and then, after all that craziness, you push the button, hit record, and it's action. So it's a very magical process. I love it.
You sound so passionate about it. And out of the set, what do you like to do? What do you do
depends.
normally?
Well, every job is different, but like on this one, we have multicam. So I'm watching the monitors, setting camera placement, lighting, working with the director, coverage. Do we turn around now? Do we need a close-up? Are we just doing wides? And then you have to work with the AD as well because there's a schedule. They got to be on time. And you got to meet this by lunch, and then you got to be out by, it's a 12-hour shooting day, so it's long days.
Yeah.
If people don't like working long hours, it's definitely not a good career for that because some shows in the United States you're working 14, 16 hours sometimes. So
Yes.
the days can be long.
All your daily life. Maybe
Yeah,
sometimes.
but again, when I'm working, you're also scouting, you're experiencing new stuff. You
You're
know,
living.
went to the Basilica, and then we were at Rancho de Wayne, and it's a beautiful mountain range that just looks like reminiscent of the American Southwesterns, movies, and it's just really exciting because those are things you wouldn't otherwise experience. I did a commercial in a gold mine, and we were deep in a gold mine in the Sierra Nevada, and it was like, wow, why else would I be here? But we're making a commercial. And again, same thing for traveling the world. Being in Portugal, Lisbon, I lived there for 3 months. And so during prep, you work shorter 8-hour days, and the weekends I'd go to Sintra or the Garvey Coast, and it's amazing, And then once you start shooting, you get pretty busy. But I like that. I like working hard, and then you have like a month or two off sometimes, which is wonderful. So it's, I'm definitely, there's some people that love the 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 or how long do people work here, on their office?
Maybe like that.
Yeah,
Like,
but I'm not one of those people.
Quite office people.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people. I can't be in an office. I like to be out interacting with people and technology and art. It's a good blend, and then matches my personality.
Do you like to read?
I do. Well, fortunately, most of what I read are scripts, so it takes up a lot of my time.
For sure, you'll read a lot.
And then also technical trade papers. New light comes out, so you read about the features, or a new drone. So you have to do your research. So there's definitely a lot of reading. I mean, not like in a traditional sense of reading novels, which I love to do. I have, when I did a movie and it was a book adaptation, I'd read the book. But and I've also written like 3 of my own scripts. And so I've read the books and tried to do adaptations. So I myself, my own career is evolving as I look for a new challenge. Because I feel like I've kind of learned all that I have through my work as a cinematographer, and a lot of it has to do with digital. I think digital has simplified the process. It is a light meter. You look at the monitor and you go, oh, okay, this is too bright. Okay, it's turned down. Oh, this needs to be blue. And you look, whereas film, you really need to know because it's all in your head.
Yeah. And how about food?
Food. Well, again, the perks is traveling the world. You get to try a little of everything.
Yeah.
But here in Durango, I love, the tacos. I'm a big fan of the tacos. Al pastor, the cilantro, cebola. I love it. It's amazing. And then the carne asada, and it's amazing. I've noticed, we're the gorditas too, right? Yeah. So the food here is awesome. But
That's great.
yeah, I love to try a little of everything, mix it up. Yeah, I did movies in India and had the curry and all that stuff, which I'm not much of a fan. And being in Portugal, Lisbon, having their seafood, it's amazing. And going to Japan, having the tempura. So again, that's the perks of the job, is you get to experience, the cuisine of the world.
Yeah, the culture is totally food, people, places.
Yeah, and then when I was in like Colombia, Medellin, rather than going to the touristy places, the crew would be like, hey, let's go here, let's go this, let's try this out, and go down electric stairs, or we go in, things that I normally wouldn't see as an outsider. So, and I'm still friends with many of them, and I've ran into them on other jobs. I went back and did a Wizen and Plan B music video, and hey, it was a lot of my same crew. So it's kind of funny to run into people again. Again, it's an adventure. Some people, again, love the desk job for it's the schedule, the predetermined schedule, and you're home and you have your weekends off. But this is very different, and everybody's different. So you have to find what you love and what you can deal with. And I very much love that. I'm very active with sports and always active playing. I think later today we're going to play soccer too, or football with the guys. We've been playing paddle, which is very much like tennis. So that's been really fun too.
So you like sports also?
Well, yeah, staying healthy and active. I mean, when I came up too, I would always operate. So, cameras sometimes could be 45, 50 pounds. They're pretty heavy. So you have to be fit and stay active. And so I'm always trying to run. And through college and everything, I did sports. So I think it's important to have good health, because that also gives you stamina for 12-hour days. If you're not healthy, you're not going to probably do well in a quick-paced environment, moving heavy equipment. And then at the same time, you have to focus on being creative too.
Yeah, you have to be okay with your body, with your mind, so you can do a good work.
Exactly.
That's sweet. Well, we're going to finish the interview, but
Okay.
not without an important thing.
Okay.
Can you give us to the people that is watching you right now an advice for their lives?
Well, for people who want to be filmmakers. How's that?
You choose
Okay.
whatever you want to share with the people that it's like
Sure.
watching you, even as the production team.
Okay. Yeah, I think filmmaking again. It's people take note of all the success, but there's also a lot of times that are very frustrating. You do projects that again you're working with difficult people or the budget's not right. You're gonna have those moments. So my advice would be stay inspired, stay passionate, stay hungry. Always look for what inspires you. If you have a challenge, think, hey, this challenge is going to make me think out of the box, and you try something new. And then sometimes by doing that, you achieve, I'll say artistic excellence, but your path there, you do something different. And that's what makes you an auteur, is working with limitations. Filmmaking is really about not getting everything that you want, but managing those resources and managing and working within those limitations and finding the beauty, and hopefully you'll break through and as a filmmaker, make a film that's special and people will recognize, and that's the key, is just keep working at it, and with technology, embrace the technology, but adapt and find ways for it to empower you. It's I guess that's kind of my again, remain just dedicated and passionate, and people are going to say no, and they'll take no and come back and try again and never give up.
Thank you, Josh. It was wonderful to have you here in the space.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. It was wonderful.
Well, thank you for everybody, and we're having more chapters.